Hey, what's going on, guys? So my name is Ippei. I've been making money on the internet for the over the last 8 years, and today I make over seven figures. Today I'm gonna review 25 business ideas. When you Google online business ideas, this is the top article by Shopify. So I'm gonna review these online business ideas as somebody that's been making money on the internet over the last 8 years. I've learned a lot about all these different ideas and what makes a particular business better or more leveraged than other business ideas. I feel like when I go to YouTube and search for online business ideas, I feel like a lot of the videos are I've watched a lot of these videos and I just don't feel like the advice from a lot of these videos are that good. I feel like a lot of these videos are done by, YouTubers that never actually ran a business. I see more these guys as more of like content creators. And to me, like running a business is completely different. I've run a digital marketing, local lead generation business over the last 8 years. And, when you are actually running a real business, you have to learn different skill sets like talking to business owners, learning sales and persuasion, hiring a team, management, administration, um, and when it comes like leadership and like creating systems and processes so that a business um, a business runs without you. See, ideally that's what an actual scalable business is you don't have to be in the business anymore. You've put different places and people in place where the business can run on its own. On YouTube, you can't do that because you are the face. So these people are more or less, they have some helpers, but they create content, right? If they disappear, their business stops. Uh, on a side note, one thing I don't like about the YouTube business, obviously, like you need some talent and you need to be good on camera, but once these guys stop creating content, like the algorithm works in such a way where your YouTube business will begin to collapse. So you can be a hamster on a spinning wheel with the YouTube, and it's not like a real business where you can walk away from the business because you are the face. Um, yeah, so in this video, I'm just gonna go, off the top, what I think about each of these business models. There's not gonna be any fancy edits. It's just my experience over the last 8 years. I went from living in a $600 a month apartment in Detroit, Michigan, to today in this apartment slash condo in San Francisco. I pay $8,000 a month in rent. So I've been through the journey of learning to make money online, and I know a lot about it. Obviously, a lot of you viewers know one of my favorite online business model is local lead generation, which I'll get into later and I'll explain why, and it should become more clear to you why I like local lead gen so much. So let's start with this article, 29 best online business ideas. um, I'm not gonna go into detail on every single one, but I just feel like a lot of the advice out here, even at the top of YouTube and top of Google, is not very good. This is why I felt compelled to make a video like this. So, start your own clothing line. Obviously, any of these businesses, if you have a special connection, if you have a special passion for it, if you grind hard enough, you can make any of these work. But for the average person, I'm talking to the average person, why is starting your own clothing line, or what are the downsides of that, or the challenges, right? Which is, anytime you're trying to sell a physical product, you have very low margin because you have to pay for the good. And you also have higher startup costs because you have to buy inventory, right? So unless you're doing dropshipping, then that's a little different. But starting your clothing line, you have to buy inventory, which is a risk, because if you're not able to have good marketing and sell your inventory, you might have just invested 5 to 10 grand in inventory, and that's just gonna stay there and not make you any money. So there's a startup cost that you have to risk. Um, there's a lot of competitors. I mean, people can go to Amazon. There's a lot of brand loyalty as well in this kind of business. So why would they buy your clothing line if there's a lot more well-known brands out there? And guys, like, why is it why is it bad to have a low margin business? Other than the fact that when it's low margin, you have to service more customers to make decent income. So you're working harder to make less money when it's low margin, right? Whereas like digital marketing, or especially what we do, local lead gen, our margins are like 95%. Clothing or restaurants, like 10% margin. Clothing, it depends, right? Maybe 30%. But the reason why, in any business, your profit margin is very, very important is because if you don't have high enough margin, it's very difficult to grow the business. Because how are you going to grow a business, right? You need to invest in marketing and advertising to grow a business, to get more people to find out about your business, right? Whether that be you do SEO, or what we do like lead generation, or paid ads on social media, or even radio ads, like any form of marketing to expand the business costs money. And so if you don't have high enough margin, you can't pay for the advertising dollars. So therefore you are kind of stuck with a business that requires your time of day each and every day, and your income or your take home pay from that business is going to remain stagnant. So very quickly the business almost becomes your job, because it's not exciting anymore. A business is only exciting when you can scale the business, when every month you're able to grow your take home pay. That's when it gets exciting. If it's a business where you have to go to work every day, but your income remains steady, whether that be you make $5,000 a month, you make $10,000 a month, but it remains steady and you can't grow the business, then it becomes a drag. It becomes a grind. It honestly just becomes another job. And the reason why you can't grow your income is because there's not enough profit margin. When there's not enough profit margin, you can't invest in growing the business and advertising. When you can't invest in advertising, you can't hire more staff, because there's just not enough margins there to automate the business. So that's the big issue with a lot of these businesses. There's just not enough profit margin. Starting your clothing line, same, like launching a dropshipping business. So let's talk about dropshipping real quick, because this is one of the most popular form or talked about business models out there. This business model, you're being the middleman, right? And there's nothing wrong with being a middleman. In local lead gen, we're being the middleman as well. But the challenge with dropshipping business is that it's so easy for other people to duplicate what you're doing. So the idea is you get traffic from places like Facebook. You use you take them to a Shopify store, and then every time people buy your product, you're gonna direct ship it from a supplier in China. And the cool thing about it is you don't have to invest in inventory, because the suppliers are going to directly ship to your customers. So you only buy when the customer buys from your Shopify store. So you can start with very startup costs. So the barrier of entry is low because there's no startup cost, right? But the challenge of that is, it's not like there's no startup cost. You have to invest quite a bit of money in Facebook advertising, and you have to test different things and landing pages, and all of that costs money. So don't expect to get into this business for like a couple $100. These ads will quickly eat through a couple $100. Like, you need, in my opinion, at least $5,000 to play with. But there's people with a lot more money to test different things and play with in this space. So when they see somebody killing it with a particular ad, they're going to quickly duplicate that ad in the store, and next thing you know, you have competitors, because it's so easy to duplicate people's drop. In fact, in dropshipping, these dropshipping courses, most people are taught to copy a winning ad, research winning ads and copy it. That's what dropshippers are taught. So which creates a business model where you don't, even if you find a winning combination of right product, right ad, it doesn't stay profitable long term. In most cases of people that I've looked into and researched, and I've also tried it myself, it's like you stay profitable maybe 2, 3, 4 months, unless well, yeah, with the drop shipping. And if you hit it at the right time, the right trend at the right time, you get in early on a trending product, you can make some money, but it doesn't. And then you have to repeat the cycle all over again, because other people are going to jump into that same product. It's going to get saturated, and when it gets saturated, the cost per click for Facebook ads go up, and it's no longer profitable. So the smart ones will take the profit from that dropshipping business and go ahead and actually invest in inventory, create their own brand, and create an actual e-commerce store. That's an actual way to create a more sustainable business. Because in business, you want to create barrier to entry. You want to do things where it's not easy for other people to duplicate. So I see dropshipping as not a long-term business. It's a business where you can learn some skill sets like Facebook ads. So that's pretty cool. But it's a transitory business in my opinion. I don't think it's smart to do it long term. So what have people done? They've taken money from dropshipping and created it like a dropshipping course, or they've created like an e-commerce brand. Both of these are a lot more sustainable than dropshipping. So that's my thoughts on that. I'm not saying you can't make money with dropshipping. It just I don't see it as a real business. I see it more of like a hustle, like a hustling business. Sell your art online. Obviously, this is going to be places like Etsy. It's not going to be applicable to most of us. You need some real talent. Become a freelance writer, designer, developer. Again, being a freelance person is not a real business, so I'm surprised these articles have these things on their list. This is just selling your time for dollars. It's not a real business. A real business, you need leverage. Leverage is what actually gives you freedom in this world, right? If you're only trading your time for dollars, it's no different than having a job. Teach an online course. Now this has a little bit more leverage, right? We have a course as well, because you can film a video of a course of a skill set that you know, and once you film the video, your work is done. Then you can that video can teach other people, and you can charge for those videos over and over and over again. So it's got scalability, it's got leverage. This is why this is one of the more better online business models out there. But with that being said, it still doesn't apply to most people, because most people don't have a skill set worth that people want to pay for, right? Flip your thrift store finds. This is what you call almost kind of like retail arbitrage, right? You go to these thrift stores, buy products for cheap, and you can find opportunities to sell them on eBay, and stuff like that. Again, this is base level online business idea. It's more of a hustle. It's not like a sustainable long-term business. There's no leverage here. It requires ongoing work. Publish your own book. This business model is kind of becoming more, you hear about it more and more these days. It's like people are doing Amazon KDP, which is Kindle publishing, direct publishing. Based on my research, and I've talked to people that have tried this business, it is a grind. Ultimately, to make it sustainable, you do need to be someone of an expert to write a book that's worth people buying. Although they teach this idea that you don't need any expertise, you just need you can outsource all of it. But if a book is not quality, it's not going to get good reviews. Therefore, it's not going to rank well, and it's not going to produce long-term sustainable income. Start a blog. This is one of my other business models as well. I have a blog, Ippei.com. This is my blog here. I spend 45 grand a month on this website. I have a team of 25 writers here. Like, let me just show you guys a little bit of my back end. So it's 45 grand a month, like who can spend that kind of money? I'm not saying every blog is going to be that expensive, but expect to grind 1 to 2 years before you make any decent income. Local lead generation, and that blog will only make maybe $1,000, maybe $2,000 after 1 to 2 years. So in local lead gen, you can get a site to make $1,000 to $2,000 a month in like 3 to 6 months. So for a beginner, I obviously didn't start with a blog business. Local lead generation is going to be much faster way to make money online, because a blog, you're competing with different big gigantic websites that got like 300 to 600 articles that are ranked, that's been around for 5-6 years globally, right? Whereas local lead gen, you're only competing with local lead generation sites or local sites that belong to a plumber or a tree care companies. These sites are only like 10 to 15 pages. It's much easier to compete for like plumbers in Dayton, Ohio versus a global blog term, right? This is why I do not recommend a blog for a beginner. Although once you have the capital, blog could be a good business if you're very passionate about a particular project. Why? Because it's much harder to start a blog, right? So there's a lot higher barrier to entry, and it's still an asset that you own. I own this blog. No one can take it away from me. But you also need a good offer. We do have a good offer, right? We have a high ticket coaching program, the local lead gen coaching program. So there's just a lot of pieces that a beginner is not going to have access to. So yeah, like blog, like most people like will try to create income with like AdSense. I just don't see that being worth it, because AdSense, it doesn't pay you that much unless you have a blog that gets like millions of views per month. Even then, it's like there's better ways to make money, in my opinion, by selling a high ticket offer or affiliate offer. Even become a virtual assistant. I mean, this is not a real business. Try your hand at being an influencer. It's there's money to be made being an influencer. We all know this, but it's a long road. You really need to be passionate about it. Obviously, you need to be good at being on camera. Enjoy being on camera. But we all know what this business model is about. Yeah, build apps and websites. This is a worrisome career path for many people, seeing how AI is coming out and being able to build websites and apps or code. But yeah, my brother builds apps for companies. He lives pretty well. He makes good money. It's work from home. He can travel the world while still working for the company. But yeah, these skill sets are more or less going to get you a job, not a scalable business. Well, I take that back. There's definitely ways to make a scalable business out of building apps. It's just not my expertise. I know it's possible if you build a really well done app. Obviously, you can scale that business, scale an app business, right? If you find a gap in the marketplace, you have certain passions and you have a great idea for an app, it could be a good one. Launch a podcast. Again, this is something that you have to decide yourself. Is something that you want to do, right? You got to be passionate about something, right? Because people can tell if you're about your passion, and you got to make a lot of content before you reach any moniker of income. That's the challenge with a lot of these content-based business models, like podcasts or becoming a YouTuber. There's so much competition out there because you're now competing with a global marketplace. Become an affiliate marketer. I mean, again, this is global competition because anyone can grab an affiliate link. The barrier to entry is very low, which is the main thing I don't like about being an affiliate marketer, which means competition is stiff. It's very, very saturated. In fact, it's probably the most saturated business model out there. People that are actually doing really well in affiliate marketing are using paid ads, because otherwise like it's really difficult to generate traffic for an affiliate market as an affiliate marketer. But the downside of that is a lot of these paid traffic platforms don't like affiliate marketers, so you get your ad account shut down often. You need a lot of black hat, gray hat techniques to make these ads work, such as using cloaking and different IP services. It's actually pretty complex. But there are people making a killing promoting like casino offers, and there's a lot of scuzzy offers, and that's where the big money is made in affiliate marketing. I personally looked into it for a long time, and I just, over the long term, I just morally don't feel good about promoting a lot of the offers that these guys promote, such as some people promote like, anti-aging skin cream, and they target people on Facebook that are 75-year-old and plus, because 75-year-olds are more susceptible to being scammed. I'm just going to say it straight up. A lot of the offers in affiliate marketing that are quote unquote high conversion are pretty much scams. Like there's a CBD offer where you sign up and you pay $7 for a free trial bottle of a CBD, but in fine print, you are signing up to a subscription. So for the next month, you get charged like $60 for a subscription service, but it's in fine print so people don't notice. There's a lot of these scuzzy techniques, and the reason why it gets scuzzy because it's so competitive. You will not be able to compete with guys that are using these scammy techniques on paid platforms, because they have higher conversion rates and more profitability. Therefore, they can scale their ad way more aggressive than you, meaning they can take over market share, and you're running a safe ad. You will not be able to compete with those guys. So this is why I don't like affiliate marketing. It eventually you have to become aggressive and very scammy to even compete. Subscription boxes. I'm going to kind of speed up here because a lot of these are not real businesses. Subscription is an interesting business. You have a great, there's a company that sells Japanese snacks. By the way, I was born in Japan. Like, Japanese snacks are like another level. So that's a great idea, right? Like, there's, people that are into anime, Japanese culture. They sign up for a subscription. Boom, boom, boom. But again, this is people that are smart in business. They understand arbitrage, right? Which is, you don't start everything from scratch. You just get in the middle of either information or different people. And what these guys have done is arbitrage. They went to Japan, they went to these manufacturers, and they can, source these products and then connect it with people that don't have access to these products, which are people in the US, right? So it's essentially, it's almost like doing lead generation as well. You're connecting two different worlds together, and there's a lot of money to be made when you begin thinking that way outside the box. Develop a niche product. My thoughts on that is there's a lot of money to be made in dominating a niche. To make good money in this world, I always say this, is that you need to become the best in your industry or your niche. So if you study a niche, and whether that be, let's say you want to become the best lead generator or digital marketer for a dentist, well, you should position yourself as the best digital marketer for dentists, right? That's niche down. You didn't just say, hey, you didn't just decide to become the best digital marketer, because that's the pool is too large to be the best digital marketer, right? But if you specialize as become the best digital marketer for dentists, well, it's a much more niche, right? Therefore, you can position yourself as being the best a lot easier. So in much the same way, developing a niche product, pick whatever niche, right? We are the best health food products for your dogs, your cats, right? That's a lot more niche, and you have a lot more better opportunity at really positioning yourself, which makes content marketing easier. So when you go to YouTube, you can really hammer down all about being the best healthy, organic pet food or dog food company in the world, and make all kinds of informational videos about, you know, health food for dogs on YouTube, and you're gonna start getting global attention, right? So that's the idea and the power of niching down. We teach this in our program as well. Like, it's a good idea to niche down, like doing lead generation for tree care or plumber. Pick 3-4 niches, stick to those, and position yourself as the best lead generator for. You can be in 3-4 different niches, or pick your city. You know, if let's say you're from Lubbock, Texas, be the best digital lead generation company in Lubbock, Texas. That's another way to dominate your niche. Why do you want to do that? Because when you give the perception that you are the best, it's a lot easier to sell and close business owners or people in general. You get to also command higher dollars for your time and expertise, and people are going to be willing to pay for it. So you get more profit margin. Create handmade goods. This is obviously not for everybody. You actually need to have a passion and a skill set. Become a social media manager. This is an okay business. I would say this is almost kind of beginner level business model. A lot of this ends up becoming kind of just managing a social media account. And the problem with just managing a social media account is you can't charge that much to a company, because you can't really quantify an increase in their bottom line just by managing their social media account, because most businesses, the customers aren't finding these businesses on their social media accounts. They're finding them through Google search. This is why what we do, SEO, and our ability to rank in Google for buyer intent keywords, is a much higher paid skill set than managing social media. Now, there is a additional side to social media, being a social media manager, which is if you run a paid social media marketing campaigns like Facebook ads, Instagram ads, and etc. That's a better business to be in, because then it's easier to quantify that you are able to increase a business's bottom line, increase their revenue. And again, there's many ways to do it. I'm not the biggest fan of doing social media marketing agency, because I guess still the business owner can fire you at any time. Ads are expensive, so you only really get to charge like 10 to 20% additional fee. Ads are unreliable, and costs fluctuate, which means there's a lot of ongoing work to maintain ad performance. Whereas my websites that I rank in Google, it's free traffic. So once it's ranked, I can essentially kind of leave it alone and not worry about it. And also, it's kind of hard to scale social media marketing agency, because ads are kind of expensive and unstable. So sometimes a business owner, even if you did everything right, a business owner might not want to continue to pay for the ads anymore, or they might decide to do it themselves, or they might hire some other agency that's cheaper. So, I mean, it's difficult to keep a social media agency like client long term. On average, I've seen in the industry, probably you get to keep them for like 4 to 6 months. And it's hard to scale a business, because if you are losing clients, because then you have to replace that client. So invest in real estate. It's not advisable for most people. Real estate is something you do when you have more money than you know what to do with. Real estate, the ROI on real estate is very low, and it's very slow. Your money, if you're stuck at a 9 to 5, if you are not in a position where you have more money than you know what to do with, then there's much faster vehicles to multiply your wealth. Digital marketing being one of them. Even if you find a great e-commerce opportunity, that's going to be any business that requires more skills is going to be a faster vehicle than real estate. And that's what you want to look into, is you want to make yourself a person worthy of making 20K a month, 30K a month, 50K a month, 100K a month. And how you make yourself that person is to invest in different coaches, mentors, whatever it takes, or investing in businesses and trial and error to learn different skill sets, whether that be sales or marketing. Sales and marketing are going to be your most important skill sets. Sell on marketplaces. Yeah, there's places like Facebook Marketplace. So yeah, there's good opportunity here as well. You can buy. So again, it's like this is arbitrage, right? And arbitrage is connecting two different worlds. So maybe if you you go to a retail store locally and there's a big clearance sale, and so you go buy some products and you put it on Facebook Marketplace or Ippei, and you can make some profit. Again, this is more of a hustle, requires ongoing effort. But if you're strapped for cash, you could definitely get some good experience doing these kind of things and make some money. It's definitely not a scalable business, but it is a good side hustle. Again, it's about connecting two different worlds. So, there's Facebook Marketplace is a relatively new place, retail store. So if you can find products and place it into a different world, which is Facebook Marketplace, you can make a profit by being the middleman. Becoming a translator. Yeah, I think this is a pretty good path for a lot of young people. Like, go to a different country. Like, I was born in Japan. Me coming from Japan to the US, I know gives me a massive edge, because I feel like I have different perspective on different things, and it allows me to think outside the box. So if you grew up all your life in a particular country or even a small town, I highly urge you guys to travel the world a little bit. And why not like teach English for a year in a different country? You're gonna walk away from that experience so much more like self-improvement than any book can give you. Start an accounting and booking firm. This is gonna require some legitimate degrees, so it's only open to a few people. Become an online fitness trainer. This requires real passion, not my expertise, even though I do know the importance of fitness, and I am into fitness, but it's just not my expertise. It's not scalable because your time is linked to the income. But yeah, why not try an online fitness trainer? I just feel like it's highly competitive, so it's important to build a strong personal brand, and you're probably going to be doing that on social media. And if you're going to do Instagram to build a personal brand as a fitness trainer, you better look the part, right? Create and sell NFTs. Again, there's like any business opportunity or make money opportunity that has no skill involved means it requires a lot of luck, which means it's more of like a gambling situation. The only real people that make consistent money in this space, which it's kind of dead right now, but when it was even in the heyday, are people that actually had skill sets. So people that were developers, people that had access to different people, and people that had networking skills. So they would go to NFT events and they would network and connect different people together and create different projects. When you create different NFT projects before it went public, that means these people were able to buy these NFTs at the ground level, and then when they would go public, the value would skyrocket, and these guys would do a rug pull, right, and make a lot of money. I just don't think ethically that is that cool to do a rug pull, because you're essentially um, yeah, I mean, it's, you know, it's a PvP situation, you know. If it's a musical chairs, so whoever couldn't find that chair once the music stops, you know, loses their money. And that's going to be 80%, 90% of the people that invest in NFTs, right? Because you're not getting in these projects at the ground level. So to get into these projects at the ground level, you have to be good at networking. Again, these are real business entrepreneurial skills. You have to be good at networking and building relationships and taking risks and going to these events. If you're willing to do that, then this space, you can make some real coin. Start an online coaching business. Obviously, I'm a fan of this business model. We do have a coaching business. We teach local lead generation, but it is a lot of work. That's our mentor, Dan, his wife, Tori. They are both in the business. You know, they deal with a lot of shit. We have 7,000 students. We have like 25 people that live near Vegas that work in the company. So it's no small task running a coaching business, because, you know, there's a lot of coaches out there that produce low level coaching programs, but they don't really care to produce results for students, whereas we actually do, right? Like, I mean, these are testimonials coming in March 24th, 21st, like, to run a legitimate coaching business with 7,000 students, to provide support and ongoing twice a week coaching. It's a lot of work. You need to be passionate about coaching. And Dan is a great coach. And I think being a good coach, I think you're either born with it or you're not. I think you need to be a leader. If you're not like a leader, then I think it's a very tough business to be in. I know a lot of people over the years that started a coaching program, and then after 6 months, a year, they're out of the business because they didn't realize how much energy it took to maintain a business like this. Even people like Sam Ovens, they were in the coaching space. I think he found other opportunities, but yeah, it's not easy. Like he's out of the coaching business also. And he talks about how difficult it is and how much energy it takes to run a coaching business. Do voiceover work, that's interesting. Not for everybody, right? Become a consultant. A lot of money to be made in consultant, for sure. You need great skills. You need to invest in mentors to learn good skills, to be a person worthy of companies wanting to consult with you, obviously. And I don't need to go into all of that. There's many different skill sets out there. But keep in mind, even when you start a consulting business, you actually need high-level marketing skills as well. Otherwise, how are you going to get customers? So you either need to get really good and build a personal brand on social media, on YouTube, or you need to learn SEO skills. Like you need to be able to rank a website in Google search, either locally or globally. And I think you can do really, really well as a consultant. The people that aren't doing well in the consulting business is they're lacking high enough marketing skills, which ends up being the case for a lot of people that get into these businesses. They think they get into these businesses because, hey, they have XYZ skills, so they can do really well. But they don't realize there's a whole another aspect of the business that you need, which is marketing and sales. And a lot of people are lacking that, which we teach, obviously. And it's also why I feel like most beginners do really well in our coaching program, because we actually teach marketing and sales. Build niche websites. Again, this is what we do. When you build niche websites, I kind of talked about it earlier, you can dominate different spaces much easier. I recommend going into build niche websites locally, though. For most people, building a niche website globally is going to be too competitive. So that's essentially what we do. Local lead generation. You build a tree care site. That's a niche. Plumbing or landscaper, or concrete driveway. There's over 50 to 100 different niches that our students are going into each and every day, but they're going into it locally. So not only are you niching down, but you're niching down to a city. And there's 45,000 different zip codes in the US alone, and we have students that are doing it in other countries as well. But just in the US alone, there's 45,000 different zip codes. Each zip code almost acts as like its own marketplace. And this is why our students succeed, because there's so many different pockets of different niches, not just in the different types of services that you can do lead gen for, but even different zip code. That even each zip code is its own niche almost. So that's why I'm a big fan of lead generation. Start a membership community. I think we got two more. So a membership community. There's places like Patreon. That's a membership community. Just know that you still need the ability to generate traffic. And so most way of generating traffic for a membership community where people want to pay like $20 a month to be in your membership, you better become an expert in a particular topic, to where other people want to listen to you. And you have to have a passion for it, because it's going to be a grind to garner that attention. And you're going to want to use, places like YouTube or start a blog. But it will be a grind. Promote sponsored posts on Instagram. Yeah, so this is gonna only work if you're like an influencer. You have a lot of following, and different brands will pay you to create like a promotion, post on your page. Again, you need to be passionate about being an influencer. What is being an influencer, right? Like, you need to portray an image of your lifestyle that other people aspire to. And, there's probably a lot of some like fabrication that you have to do. Or you just live such an awesome life that you can do it, but it's for certain people. It's competitive also, but if you're gonna put in the effort to become an influencer, sponsored posts shouldn't be the only way you're monetizing. I think people need to be monetizing more information, courses, I don't know, or a physical product that requires ongoing purchase, like even maybe a supplement brand where people need to buy ongoing from you, things of that nature. But yeah, that's it. That was the list of 29. Again, nothing on this list. A lot of the business ideas on this list doesn't really jump out at me, because most of the things on this list are not scalable. Because you are the business, you have to do the work to get the business to work, which makes it not scalable, because there's only 24 hours in a day. So that becomes more or less like you trading your time for dollars. A real scalable business means a business where you don't have to be in the business. A business can run on its own. So my lead generation websites make money for me. I can take a vacation for the next 4 months and my lead generation sites will still make money for me. That's what makes it scalable. Like, you want to create a business where you're running the business, you're not in the business. Does that make sense? And you also want a business that has high profit margin. Our lead generation business has like 90%, 95% profit margin. When you have high profit margin, you can automate the business more, because there's more margin. You can hire more people. You can also spend money on marketing and advertising, which gives you a faster faster path to grow the business, which is what makes the business exciting. It's the rate at which you can accelerate the income that you gain from the business. So you could have one business where you're making 10K a month, and it's gonna, because the profit margin is so low, like a restaurant business, it's like 10% profit margin. You have to save up for years before you can open up another restaurant, right? Because each restaurant is going to cost a lot of money to start as well. So it might take you another 10 years before you can open up another restaurant. And your income might go up by another $5,000 a month, right? That's a grind, right? Whereas like a digital marketing or like our business, local lead generation business, we have students that hit 10K a month take home, net home profit. And from 10K a month, they can hit it in like, from 10K a month to 20K a month, they can hit it in 6 months or even a year. Whereas, not 10 years. They can hit it in 1 year and increase and double, go from 10 to 20 or half a year. Whereas a restaurant, again, it took 10 years and you might grow your income by another $5,000. So this is why it's important to have a highly scalable business and a business that has high profit margin. That is going to be, not all businesses were created equal. Trust me, guys. Like, I found that out after studying business for a while. When you have a scalable business with high profit margin, that is when you're going to be really excited to go grind on your business each and every day. And to me, this is what local lead generation business model is. So we have a coaching program with over 7,000 students. We've been coaching since 2014. We have so much testimonials. The proof is in the pudding. I think we're one of the most successful programs out there on the internet. I've left some links in the description. If you are interested and you can check it out. I will see you guys in the next video.